Hi, this is Stephen Brower from Raton Valley Community College. This is for CSIT254 data structures, and this is a very brief introduction to the idea of stacks. And what I want to do is take a real-world example and explain again how the real-world thing works and bring in a couple terms. And that's just it for this sort of a brief overview. So when I hit the keyboard, nothing happens. There we go. Okay. So for some games that you may have played, some card games you may have played, the games may involve leaving the stack of cards. I did say stack, leaving the stack of cards like in the center. And the idea is that the players, when it's their turn, they can pick up a card from the stack. This is depending on the game that they're playing. So what I have pictured here is a stack of cards. And if the first player who's going to move decides, okay, they're going to pick up a card, they pick the card from the top of the stack. Let's say that's what they pick up is the 9 of diamonds. And, they look at their hand. Do they want to incorporate it or not? If not, if they're not going to put it in their hand, they discard it by putting it into, well, initially it was empty, but now that's the discard pile. So now we have two stacks. We have a stack of cards, unseen cards on the right, and a stack of the discarded cards on the left, which currently is the 9 of diamonds. So now the next player comes along, and they have a choice. They either take the 9 of diamonds that they can see, or they take the next card on top of the stack on the right, which they can't see. And let's just say they take another one from the stack. So picking up from the unseen cards, they now pull the 10 of spades. And let's say they look in their hand and realize that's not going to help them with whatever game it is they're playing. And so they want to discard it. They'll put it on top of the discard pile. Now, I had just placed the 10 there. And when I look at that stack, I can't see what's underneath it. I remember it's a 9 of diamonds, but I really can't see there. I can only see what is on top. So a couple concepts then to talk about. One is the idea of top, is that the access to the cards is from the top. We're not sticking things in the bottom. I'm not pulling the middle card out. Is that if I want to take a card from the stack on the right, the unseen cards I'm taking on the top. If I want to take a card from the discard pile, I'm taking from the top. When I want to put something on the discard pile, I'm putting it on top. The idea of a stack is that the access to the stack is through the top. We put things on top of the stack. We take things from the top of the stack. Now that 10 was the last thing I put onto the discard pile. That was the last thing that went into that stack, that discard pile. And so if I do pick up from that pile, then that will be the first one out. There is a card below it, but I'm not pulling out the card below it. I'm pulling out this one, which is the last one that went into the stack. So the last one went in. That's the first one coming out of the stack when I pull that one out. Okay, so this is just meant to be a brief overview of the idea of stacks. What we're going to be doing is creating a stack in terms of memory, and it's going to be a generic stack, so we can have a stack of objects. And the stack we're going to deal with is there'll be access at one end only, called the top, and that the last thing that's put into the stack is the first thing that is removed. What we're not going to get into in our program, although it might be an honors option, what we're not going to get into our program is the idea of a peek or not. Because on the stack on the right, I can't see the top card. Stack on the left, I can. And that's something whether or not a stack implements peek, meaning can we see what's on top, it depends on the application. Anyway, that's enough. Stack, top, last in, first out, boom, that's it.